Indians can't go access that global inventory because a match for an Indian will only be in the Indian ethnicity donor. That problem is largely still existing. The bone marrow registries, we have about 2 lakh bone marrow donors in the country, but for a bone marrow donor you need, the odds of finding a match are 1 in 20,000. So you need a very large inventory of bone marrow donors also, to provide a reasonable match. Currently less than 20%, they're saying 0.1% of the Indians will find a match in the bone marrow registry, because inventory is so low. It is again 1%, less than 1% of the global donor list. For example, in US, for a population of about 300 million, they have 10 million plus bone marrow donors. In India, it's 2 lakh, less than, and for our population size, 4 times larger, right? So we really need, this is not an option currently. And even then, the challenge is, if you find a match on a bone marrow, there is statistics which suggest that 40 to 50% of the time, the bone marrow donor either is unavailable or even refuses a donation at the time of a medical request for transplant. Because some of them say, I don't want a procedure, I don't want anesthesia, I'm not available, I'm not healthy anymore. So ideally, the solution should be where stem cells are readily available off the shelf. You don't need to call a donor, you don't need to wait for a donor to come, and it's a very large inventory that can be accessed. And which is why we believe our approach of sharing stem cells will solve that problem almost instantaneously, because we already have an inventory of 2 lakh plus units which are stored by the families, plus every year we add 50,000 plus units. So if we can get all the parents to start sharing, and we can go back to the parents who've already stored their baby stem cells for sharing, we can create that inventory and solve the problem, give Indians, families in India, better access to stem cells than any other part of the world. Today the baby stem cells are only being used for the baby or for its sibling. But now with the sharing program, what will happen is, after the first 2 years, the child stem cells will be put onto the sharing program, where then the parents can also go access a stem cell if they would like. And why are we sharing stem cells after the first 2 years? Is because in the first 2 years, if the child is diagnosed of any of the conditions like autism, cerebral palsy, neuroblastoma, where the preferred choice is the child's own stem cells, it will be reserved for the child. After the 2 years cross, usually the child will require a donor stem cells more than even their own cells. And since I suggested the chances of requiring a donor cells is 4 times higher than your own cells, the benefit to the own child whose stem cell being stored is 4 times more than compared to a private banking scenario. And if you add each of the parents, the benefit is 4 times, so about 8 times for the parents itself, which currently do not get any stem cell access. And if you have another sibling, it's 4 times more. So clearly, from a private approach to a sharing approach, the benefits to the family also increase by 12 to 16 times. So the odds of that inventory, even with the sharing program, is still not going to be more than 2%. So 98% of the time it will still be available for the family's use. Whereas the benefits for the family now will increase by 12 to 16 times under this program. And even if the child's stem cells have been released for a unrelated patient, the child is still not at risk. Maybe the child can access still stem cells from the bone marrow and peripheral blood. Maybe it's a little procedure, but child can still benefit from own cells, like how Lisa Ray at the age of 40 still had access to her own cells. So there's no risk to the child at all. But whereas the benefits to the child and the family substantially increase. So again, to summarize some of the other benefits of the program, the first 2 years it is exclusively reserved for the family. There is no cost the family ever will have to pay to get stem cells, which if you have to buy from a public bank, you have to pay 20 lakhs. There is no restriction on the number of units that you can go buy, or you can procure from the community. Supposing the child requires 2 units for transplant, or supposing multiple members of the family have a stem cell need. We believe, in fact, the parents will have an earlier stem cell need than the child, because with age, the requirement of stem cell needs actually increases. So the parents also require, they don't have to pay for accessing these stem cells. So if the family wants 4 units, they can go access without restriction provided. And for those who at some point feel uncomfortable, I'm not comfortable with sharing, I still want it for my own use, they can exit the program, but it will be a one-way exit, irrevocable. They can't ever go back and then say, now I want to come onto the sharing. because it's a community concept. Only what you contribute can you then withdraw. So they're not willing to share, but saying only when I have a medical need I'll come and share, that is unfair. Saying if you have to be, you'll have to be forever on the sharing program. And which is why now we believe with the transformation of the approach, it is time to reconsider the medical opinion. So far the medical societies, the gynec societies or the pediatric societies do not recommend umbilical cord storage by the families individually. They recommend donation to a public bank. The reason is, this is the exact statement from the gynec societies, is the chance of the child's own stem cells being utilized for the child or for the family is so remote that we do not recommend for everybody to be done. It's only for those at risk or at need of stem cell transplant should do it. But now,
as such, even private banking is a little bit, it's probably concentrated in the cities, but if you have to take a wider reach for the same concept, do you have any awareness programs in place?
Correct. So clearly awareness is the largest issue. We are present in 150 cities in the country, but this is largely restricted to the private hospitals, and especially because the cost of services are higher. It is mostly the private hospitals which have a minimum fee also. We've run awareness campaigns. We've also been working through digital as a medium, because especially in the age group which parents deliver at, isn't that 25 to 35, they're digitally very savvy. So in fact, 50% of our current engagement with parents actually begins online. There are institutional methods also which have been put up in advanced countries like the US, where through a legislation they have made it mandatory for practitioners like the obstetricians, gynecologists to inform the parents on the choices available, that you can discard it, you can donate it to a public bank, or you could privately store it. I believe that's something that's probably more difficult to implement in the current scenario, where Indian healthcare objectives are still more centered around primary care, where even now 50% of the institutional deliveries are happening, deliveries are happening outside an institution. So I don't know, ideally from a government support perspective, if I would ask, one of the things is like what they've done 2-3 years back is for preventive healthcare assessments. They've allowed that as a tax deductible expense. So maybe to enter public inventory, we can open it up for access. But at the moment we may not be openable immediately. It will take time, because first the primary objective of the families will have to be taken care of. Once a much larger base gets created, maybe at that point becomes feasible to open that up for general access by the patients.
Is there any minimum?
And then there is an annual storage fee of 4,000 rupees. With this, the parents again have to reiterate, don't have to ever pay for buying stem cells if it's available. Plus, for their child, they get 20 lakhs medical reimbursement if the transplant occurs in the first 20 years of the child. Fund, in case the child's unit is released for a unrelated patient. So all the money that they have spent towards stem cell storage will be reimbursed, plus they will continue to enjoy the benefits in the future. That 5,000 plus hospitals across the country, spread over 150 plus cities, and about 10,000 plus practitioners, gynecologists, obstetricians actually collect stem cells every year.
When it comes to
so I believe now the potential change in the approach by the society. So far the society that probably Dr. Kanimuli can validate that it was left to a parental decision. That if you can afford it, do it. Otherwise medically at the moment I may not recommend it. Right. So
would you be approaching more hospitals to tie up with
So I believe so. So like for example at a Cloud9 we get a institutional approach done for it. Like for example where there is a antenatal program where the parents are educated about various concepts. Stem cell is also a concept that is made aware of. The hospital takes care of the stocking of the collection kit boxes for the collection, its procedure itself, handing it over for logistics, reports, delivery, queries, handling.
There has to be infrastructure built in both the sides, at your side and also the hospital.
Absolutely. Like how today the hospitals provide other services which are non-hospital, like diagnostics and others, right? They partner with other banks and companies to provide that. So we can be taken up, institutionalized then the parents don't have to deal with someone outside. Then they don't have to call us outside, meet, understand the concept, pay for it, coordinate. All of that can be removed.
We usually put the patients onto the counselors who's available in the hospital after the 5th month. They come around 20 weeks for an anomaly scan. And the waiting time, we ask them to go for such kind of counseling also. So they are aware well ahead what they need to do. So they can carry the message home, they can carry the pamphlets, they can discuss back with the family and they can come back. They have ample of time of 5 months to take a call on it.
Yeah, because the first trimester they're settling with their pregnancy, second trimester when they would prepare, third trimester they just want to get done.
And second trimester is very crucial for us to educate on all these things so that they can take a free decision.
So how much percentage of people, they are still willing to, you gave out the numbers?
So currently, as an industry put together, probably we'd be doing about 100,000 stem cell storage units being preserved every year, which is about 0.5% of the births that happen in a year. So of the 25 million births, 0.5% would be about.
So you are covering the government and the
Yes, yes. And
that is where the
50%
majority of the
delivery happens. That's why the percentage is so less actually.
Absolutely.
So you have to take up only the private hospitals and then calculate.
Are you in talks with a government?
Of that. It is at some point feasible as the years progress that even 5,000 plus transplants every year will get supported through an inventory like us. And our inventory is not a one-time inventory. Every year we're adding 50,000 plus units. So it really very quickly it could be that hundreds of transplants, someday thousands of transplants, which means Lifestyle will be the single largest provider of stem cells for patients in India.
What is the capacity right now?
Currently we have a capacity of storage up to 5 lakh units, but that is rapidly expandable as the need arises.
So what will be your investment in this area? Because it's a huge investment.
Sure. So far the asset investment creating that infrastructure has been about 60 crores. We had a venture capital investment from Helium Ventures about 4 years back.
There is no other place where you can have this.
Not the government. They're all private banks or either public banks.
Okay, how many banks are there? Just to understand how many you
So
have.
12 licensed cord blood banks are
So now you're saying whoever parents with the lifestyle cannot.
So, for example, the 2 lakh families who store the stem cells, they can now benefit.
Okay, so right now you have a lot of families.
Correct. Who store their baby stem cells with us. And every year we're adding at least 50,000 plus units currently.